Okay, Gary, your box has arrived, so we're going to get you opened up and have a look at what you've sent. Let's go ahead and do that. Okay. This is your 6309, so a watch that you've had, I think, since new. I'm pretty sure. Okay. Very cool. All right, so this is a 1978, June of 78. 6309 7049, which is looking really cool. Good worn watch. All right. Well, let's get down to business. Let's have a close look at what you've sent. I think you're on your original strap. Just as a warning, you know, these do tend to get a bit old and crusty, and they can get stiff, and then if they start getting worn again, they can oftentimes crack, and that could leave your watch on the ground, which is not where you want it. So I always recommend that folks put these away and keep them as a cherished memento, but perhaps you can actually see it here where the cracking actually starts into different components. And if that happens here or any of these areas where they can actually start to get disintegrated, even in where the buckle goes, you have lost your watch. And then when it hits the ground, we got trouble. So I always recommend for people to find a replacement that's suitable to them. Anyway, okay, so let's take a close look. It's a nice early watch. Lume on the hands and dial are basically perfect. They are really in good shape. You seem to be running, which is always a good sign. No marks in the back in terms of case tooling marks. Crown is tight, which is good. Screws down. Very good. All right, lots of threads there. Your bezel insert is good. It's a little loose simply because the gasket that goes inside of this, those tend to go very dry, and so they loosen up considerably. But once we get a new gasket in there, I'm confident we'll be nice and tight. Your click ball seems to be very close to popping out. In fact, I would assume that once I take this off, this ball is going to eject itself from the watch, simply because they were a kind of a pressed in. They cinched the case actually around the ball when they put them in, and when over time, with the ball rocking back and forth with the bezel action, that hole opens up, and so the ball becomes a loose click ball. However, once it's in place and once your bezel is sort of tight again, it will never pop out. So just to remind you that this is probably going to come off when I open it up. Your crystal is of course scratched and marred, and probably we're going to replace that. I assume that's going to be something we're going to do if I look back through our conversation. Definitely some use marks, but that's exactly what you want in your watch. You have worn this watch, I think, for a long time, and it's been used. All right, so let's have a look. Let's see if we can get in there. Yeah, that's definitely going to need a case back tool. So let me get you opened up, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I got things loosened up. Let's go ahead and go the rest of the way together and we'll have a close look at everything. All right, so I see some marks in the back. It looks like it's been serviced in the past or had something done. I'm not quite sure what that mark means. H191. Okay. Not sure what that means, but that's okay. So somebody's been in the watch at some point in its past. Overall, very clean. We have a very flat case back seal, which is all right. I assume your crown seal is going to look very similar to that. Watch certainly doesn't have too much dust or debris, which is a good sign. All right, I'm going to go ahead and power up your mainspring. Get you fully powered. We're going to put this on the time grapher and have a close look at the way it's performing. Okay, I'll be right back. Okay, Gary. Well, you know, it's a good starting point. This is kind of a I wouldn't say a borderline case. You certainly do need service, but you know, starting with the amplitude, which is really the number we look at, and the cleanliness of those points along the screen, that sort of indicates to me that the watch was serviced at some point in the past, and a lot of that lubrication and the effects of that service have remained sort of in place. It's certainly way out of adjustment. The rate is pretty far off your 100 seconds a day, and your beat error, which kind of measures the difference between the tick and the tock of the escapement, is pretty far off. I mean, but that's easily adjusted. I don't think that you should leave it go. I think you should definitely get this service. This is, you know, this watch should be cleaned up, and it will, I think, respond very well to the service. I don't know if these numbers are really indicating where the actual performance is. Sometimes they can get a little bit out of step if it's this far out in terms of adjustment. But you know, 200 in the 200s is actually very good. So I think once we get things serviced, we'll get more consistency. We'll get numbers that we really trust. But overall, it's doing good. This is a nice starting point. I think I'm happy with what I see for sure. Okay, let's get back to the bench. Okay, just to wrap up, we'll convene on what you really want to do. Of course, it's the decisions are totally up to you at this point. I always recommend a watch that has clearly, you know, has not been serviced in a while, doesn't have updated seals and things. Recommend service if it's going to be something that you're going to wear again. So I would say that we should move forward, and but you let me know. You let me know what you want to do. We're at a really good starting point. It's a lovely watch that has lots of potential, and I think it'd be good to get it right. So I will be in touch, and we will move forward. All right. Thank you, Gary. Thanks for watching.